All are lunatics, but he who can analyze his delusions is called a philosopher. Ambrose Bierce. The Monetary Authority of Singapore, which we know are very forward-leaning with regulations, has joined the Mojaloop Foundation. Mojaloop uses interledger protocol. The foundation members are Google, the Rockafella Foundation, Coil. Mojaloop has never announced anything about a digital currency. It's always been said that they're using ILP. In this finextra article, quote, Moz is joining the Mojaloop Foundation as a sponsor-level member to collaborate on providing the underserved access to affordable financial services through digital currency-based settlement systems and foundational digital infrastructure. Digital currency-based settlement systems. So XRP is a settlement asset. Mojaloop's mission is to bring cheap and secure payments to the underbanked to underdeveloped nations. XRP would fit into something like this. They could mean some type of CBDC as the digital currency-based settlement system, but that would mean everyone that uses Mojaloop would use Singapore dollars. Currencies used in other jurisdictions is a problem that central bankers try to fight. They call it dollarization. They try to avoid those types of scenarios. So it's very unlikely that they're using a central bank digital currency for this collaboration. When finextra says a digital currency-based settlement system, how is that working?
Research to develop a reference architecture for an interoperable payment system, which is now available on GitHub today. It's called Mojaloop, after the Swahili word moja for one or together. And you can download it today, and it can form the basis of a new national payment system. It's being deployed commercially by 2 mobile network operators in Africa in 22 countries, jointly to connect 110 million accounts across 22 countries. And one central bank in East Africa is adopting as well as part of its national payments grid, and other central banks are evaluating as well. So interoperable payment systems are a big part of the technology that has the biggest impact, I think, in terms of access to inclusion. But remember,
Deloitte released a report about the Monetary Authority of Singapore's project called Project Ubin. In this 2016 report, it lists that the prototype uses Ripple and the Stellar blockchain. Quote, cross-border payments have plenty of room for innovation, and the future looks bright for DLT within this use case.
And more recently, with a robust system in places like India, we see that you can have digital financial inclusion. India is a great example. They did a lot of their own technology, which won't be possible for other countries. And so the role of the Gates Foundation as an advocate for those who don't have access today is to make sure there's technology and standards, including open source work that we're providing through the financial switch, which is called Mojaloop, and through the digital identity system, which is extremely valuable, not just for financial activities, but for health and voting and education, and that's called MoSIP. And for both of those projects, we're a major funder. We have a lot of great partners. And what we're going to see is a number of countries rolling out the payment switch and the identity system based on these open source technologies and be able to catch up with what India and others have done, with huge benefits to the poorest.
Microsoft runs a validator node on the XRP ledger. They contribute to the decentralization of the XRPL. The company CGI does as well. CGI is a technology company that created CGI's Ripple-enabled intelligent gateway. Working with the Singapore government and a consortia of banks, CGI used Ripple to address invoice fraud associated with companies claiming to engage in the shipping business. The end payment became a block in the blockchain connecting the government, shipping company, and banks through a distributed single source of truth. CGI has worked with the Singapore-based consortia that included 2 banks, a government agency, and Ripple in order to design, develop, and operate the first ever trade finance blockchain proof of concept, which was touted a great success. Extending CGI's intelligent gateway to trade, this currently integrates payment systems to Ripple Connect and will soon provide a new level of interoperability between legacy trade platforms and distributed trade solutions. The Monetary Authority of Singapore is updating their financial infrastructure. Project Ubin is a platform that allows identity, trade, finance, CBDCs, a whole update to the nation's infrastructure. Now, when CGI created these proof of concepts, they needed approval from MAS, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, which means Ripple's tech was signed off by the Monetary Authority of Singapore.
For banks, but also providing new services to their customers that they otherwise could not provide.
CGI and Ripple have gone beyond the marketing partnership model. We've recognized the challenges our clients face bringing innovation into their organization. Challenges around seamless integration, the ability to bring multiple stakeholders together around an innovation change. So we've chosen to bundle not only our technology solutions, Ripple Connect and Intelligent Gateway, but bundle our business consulting services as well, bringing the payment experts and the distributed financial technology experts together to help bring this innovation to life quickly for financial services companies.
I think people that will understand both the technology and the way core banking systems around the globe work. That's why CGI is such a phenomenal partner and phenomenal expert for figuring out how those two worlds come together.
Ripple and the Monetary Authority of Singapore are currently running trials using blockchain technology to make international payments and expect to be able to reduce the time to complete transfers to just a few seconds.
And on the potential impact of fintech on the cross-border payments market. We are engaging very closely with the private sector and the industry, and last year put in place a high-level advisory group of industry leaders from the private and public sectors to help guide us in our work on fintech. I'm very happy to say that Chris Larson, one of the co-founders of Ripple, and Supnendo Mohante from the Monetary Authority of Singapore are both part of that group, and we're very grateful for the advice that they give us.
In this Project Ubin report for SGX, the Singapore Stock Exchange, it mentions interledger 13 times. This report does not specify if this is Ripple's interledger or if this is a reinvented version of interledger. Ubin is connected to other central bank projects like the Bank of Canada's Jasper and the Bank of England's project, all using different technologies. I can't say with 100% certainty that this is Ripple's interledger, but essentially they have created a plethora of walled gardens based off of Ethereum, Hyperledger, R3, Chain, Zilliqa, and interledger protocol would be a useful technology for interoperability standards. But we do know that Mojaloop is using Ripple's interledger protocol, and now Moz has joined the Mojaloop Foundation. It would make a lot of sense to me if Ripple's interledger protocol was the common ground.
I think the most important piece of the puzzle here is that we are coming together. SBI Digital Asset Holdings and SDX 6 Digital Exchange have come together now publicly, and we have an intent to come into the Singapore market, which we see as such a crucial Asian marketplace, a crucial center for the whole of the Asian financial markets. And we're going to set up a digital exchange, very much in the same vein as what we've done in Zurich, but also Fernando will tell you they have a lot of activity in SBI Digital Asset Holdings, not just in Japan but globally in this space. So we're bringing a lot of experience. But
Japan's SBI Group is collaborating with Switzerland's SIX to create a Singapore digital asset exchange to be launched in 2022. Subject to regulatory approval, the deal is between the SIX Digital Asset Exchange, SBI Group, and SBI Digital Asset Holding. SBI invests $30 million in digital asset bank Signum. SIX partners with Swisscom and Signum in a joint venture to build an institutional digital asset gateway. Signum, the digital asset bank, has a license in Singapore and Switzerland. Signum empowers institutional and private qualified investors, corporates, banks, and other financial institutions to invest in the digital asset economy with complete trust.
And of course, the idea is to expand it further. So there's a group called Everest. They're building a project called Hyperledger Quilt. And so that's a project to essentially make all the different Hyperledger projects compatible with interledger, so that if I have, let's say I'm an enterprise and I have a private blockchain, and now I need to make transactions between the public interledger that involves some of these digital assets and my private ledger that's running on, let's say, Hyperledger Fabric, I can use Quilt to provide the integration. There's also, of course, Ripple's bank offerings, and the idea is to make those ILP enabled as well, ILP being interledger protocol. And finally, I want to talk quickly about this project called Mojaloop. So Mojaloop was a project that we started about 2.5 years ago together with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And the idea was Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation wanted a solution to provide national level payments interoperability. So the idea is that you have a country like Tanzania, and they might have some amount of interoperability between different payment providers, in this case, like the top 3 or 4. But then there might be other providers, like in Tanzania's example, like KaloPay, that are not part of that group. And as a result, there's sort of friction in the payment system and not enough competition. And so they did a lot of projects in different countries to try to bring down the cost of digital financial services to get more people access to the financial system.
Singapore is a nation that is aggressively moving forward with this paradigm shift. They're updating their nation's infrastructure with distributed ledgers and blockchain solutions. Singapore's central bank project uses multiple ledgers, Hyperledger that we know is ILP enabled via Quilt, R3 that has worked with Ripple in the past, and Ethereum that has a channel on ILP. And now Singapore is connecting to Mojaloop that is also ILP enabled. Interoperability is key to a world of blockchains and digital assets. Networks need to talk to each other, and Ripple is positioning for this future. I'm watching the Singapore region very closely. The developments that are being made there are the key to utility. The hardest tumble a man can make is to fall over his own bluff. Ambrose Bierce. Thank you for liking, watching, and subscribing. If you enjoy my work and wish to support my channel, please consider joining my Patreon. Remember to hit the bell.